About 66 million years ago, the Earth was a different world. It was a green paradise under the absolute dominion of reptiles. For nearly 180 million years, an incredible group of creatures called dinosaurs had established their unrivaled empire in every corner of this planet, from plains to jungles, mountains to deserts. They were nature's ultimate creation. Unparalleled in their diversity of size, majesty of power, and skill of adaptation. Some were as massive as mountains, while others were as small as birds. Some were ferocious predators, others peaceful herbivores. It seemed their reign would last forever. But any earthly empire is insignificant in the face of the vastness of the universe. That day, when the pulse of life on Earth was at its most vibrant, a silent assassin was hurtling from the infinite void of space. An asteroid, larger than Mount Everest, about 10 to 15 kilometers wide, was rushing towards Earth at a speed of over 20 kilometers per second. As it entered Earth's atmosphere, it became a blazing fireball, its brightness 1,000 times greater than the sun. The last dinosaur roaming the Earth that afternoon might have looked up at the sky and seen a new sunrise, but it was not a sunrise. It was a cosmic death warrant. Within moments, the asteroid slammed into the ocean near what is now Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. The entire Earth shuddered with an explosion more powerful than billions of atomic bombs combined. In an instant, millions of years of evolution, nature's greatest creation, fell victim to a cosmic accident and began its journey towards extinction. How did these incredible creatures emerge? What twist of fate or evolutionary opportunity made them the undisputed masters of the Earth? And what exactly happened on that dreadful day? And in its aftermath, that ground their invincible empire to dust? From the first spark of life to the rise of the dinosaurs and their tragic fall, we will explore that epic journey in today's comprehensive analysis. According to scientists, the journey of life began about 4 billion years ago, deep in the oceans. For billions of years, life was microscopic. But about 540 million years ago, during the Cambrian period, an incredible explosion of life occurred, filling the oceans with diverse creatures. Gradually, plants and then animals moved onto land. Amphibians were the first vertebrates to start living on land, but they had to remain dependent on water for reproduction. Freedom from this dependency came from a revolutionary invention of evolution, the amniotic egg. The hard shell of this egg protected the embryo from the dry environment, allowing reptiles to spread into the dry inner regions of the Earth and live a truly terrestrial life. From among these reptiles, the synapsids, or mammal-like reptiles, became dominant on Earth during the Permian period, about 300 to 250 million years ago. They were not the ancestors of dinosaurs, but rather the distant ancestors of today's mammals. The Earth was their domain. But about 252 million years ago, the most devastating catastrophe in the history of life occurred: the Permian-Triassic extinction, or the Great Dying. Horrific volcanic eruptions in the region of modern-day Siberia, known as the Siberian Traps, which lasted for millions of years, spewed billions of tons of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. As a result, Earth's temperature rose drastically. The oceans became anoxic, and terrible acid rain destroyed the plant world. In this cataclysm, about 96% of all marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrate species on Earth went extinct. This great dying almost turned Earth into a lifeless planet. It nearly wiped out the dominant synapsids that had ruled the Earth for millions of years. However, by the law of nature, new opportunities are born from the rubble of every great disaster. This extinction so thoroughly reset Earth's ecosystem that it provided an opportunity to start a new evolutionary race. a new group of competitors emerged to fill the vacuum that had been created. This group was the archosaurs, or ruling reptiles. And from among these archosaurs, the most dominant creatures in Earth's history were about to be born, the dinosaurs. The Great Dying was the final event that set the stage for the rise of the dinosaurs. After the Great Dying, Earth was a ghostly world, a shadow world. The planet that was once bustling with the noise of life was now silent. This new era, the Triassic period, began amidst extreme adversity. The supercontinent Pangaea was still intact, its vast interior a hot and arid desert. In this harsh world, life had to begin its struggle for survival anew. It was this struggle that allowed the archosaurs, or ruling reptiles, to become dominant. The evolutionary tree of archosaurs split into two main branches, distinguishable by the structure of their ankle bones. One branch was the Pseudosuchia, or the crocodile-line archosaurs. The other branch was the Ornithodyra, or the bird-line archosaurs, from which pterosaurs and dinosaurs would later evolve. In the Triassic, the Ornithodyra were the underdogs. The undisputed rulers of the ecosystem at that time were the Pseudosuchians. Ferocious predators like the 20-foot-long Postosuchus, armored herbivores like the Dinosaurs, and crocodile-like aquatic predators like the Phytosaurs were the main players of the era. It was in their shadow, about 230 million years ago in modern-day Argentina, that the first true dinosaurs appeared. So from these humble beginnings, how did dinosaurs become the rulers of the Earth? The answer lies in a few revolutionary adaptations hidden in their bodies, which provided them with a special toolkit. First and most important was the structure of their hips and legs. Dinosaurs had a hole in their hip socket, a perforate acetabulum, which allowed their femur, thigh bone, to be positioned directly underneath their body in an erect stance. This was a revolutionary innovation. It gave them the ability to move much faster, more efficiently, and with less energy expenditure than their competitors like the Pseudosuchians. They were nature's marathon runners. Second, their respiratory system was likely incredibly efficient. Based on fossil evidence and their close relationship with birds, scientists believe dinosaurs had air sacs connected to their lungs. This system ensured a one-way airflow through the lungs, which helped them absorb much more oxygen with each breath. In the relatively low oxygen environment of the Triassic, this was a huge advantage for survival. Third, their metabolism. Although this is debated, were they cold-blooded, ectothermic, like today's reptiles, or warm-blooded, endothermic, like birds and mammals? Most scientists now believe they were likely something in between, or mesothermic. The rapid growth rates seen in their bones and their predator-prey ratios suggest they lived much more active lives than modern reptiles. Equipped with these physical advantages, the first dinosaurs, like the 1-meter-long Eoraptor and the slightly larger Herrerasaurus, began their struggle for survival in the harsh world of the Triassic. They were fast, agile, and opportunistic, which gave them a different strategic advantage over their larger, slower competitors. But fate once again ruled in favor of the dinosaurs. About 201 million years ago, at the end of the Triassic, another mass extinction event occurred, known as the Triassic-Jurassic extinction. The probable cause was a massive volcanic region called the Central Atlantic Magmatic Province, CAMP. The vast amounts of carbon dioxide released from these eruptions drastically changed the climate and acidified the oceans. This catastrophe mysteriously wiped out the dinosaurs' main competitors, like the Pseudosuchians, but the dinosaurs, surprisingly, survived. Now you might ask, why did they survive? Scientists suggest that perhaps their small size, efficient respiratory systems, and higher metabolism helped them adapt quickly to this changed environment. Whatever the reason, the result was clear. This second extinction was a royal gift from nature to the dinosaurs. All the obstacles in their path had been removed. The earth lay open before them. To fill the ecological vacuum that was created, the dinosaurs began to evolve with incredible diversity in the next era, the Jurassic, and established themselves as the undisputed rulers of the earth. The golden age of dinosaurs had begun. For the next 140 million years during the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, the dinosaurs built an empire that no other group of animals in Earth's history has ever managed. It was an epic of dimensional majesty, a display of power, and the ultimate success of evolution. In the Jurassic, the supercontinent Pangaea began to break apart, creating new seas between the continents. This dramatically changed the Earth's climate. Instead of dry deserts, the Earth became warm, humid, and green. Vast jungles of cycads, conifers, and ginkgos formed. In this paradise of endless food, the largest land animals of all time were born, the sauropods. These herbivorous giants were a living marvel of engineering. Their immense size was their primary defense against predators. Brachiosaurus was as tall as a 4-story building, its giraffe-like structure helping it eat leaves from tall trees. Creatures like Diplodocus and Apatosaurus were incredibly long, their long necks balanced by even longer whip-like tails, which were probably used to ward off predators. To sustain this massive size, they had incredible adaptations. Like birds, their vertebrae were filled with air sacs, which kept their massive skeletons relatively light yet strong. These air sacs also ensured a one-way airflow through their lungs, supplying their huge bodies with oxygen, which required immense energy even for simple tasks like walking. Furthermore, they were living food processing machines. They would rip leaves with their teeth and swallow without chewing, using gastroliths, stomach stones, to grind the plants in their huge guts, where microbes would digest them. Meanwhile, it was impossible for such massive creatures to incubate their eggs for long periods. Fossil sites like Aucamahuevo in Argentina show that they would dig nests in large colonies, lay their eggs, and cover them with soil, much like modern sea turtles. To hunt these herbivorous giants, the Jurassic had ferocious predators like Allosaurus. It was about 30 feet long, equipped with sharp teeth and powerful claws with 3 fingers. Evidence from the famous Morrison Formation in North America shows that Allosaurus was the most common large predator of its time, and they often hunted in packs, even taking on massive creatures like sauropods. There was also Ceratosaurus, which had a horn on its nose, and even larger predators like Torvosaurus. In the Cretaceous period, the diversity and number of dinosaurs reached their peak. A revolutionary change came to the Earth at this time. The appearance of angiosperms, or flowering plants. The birth of flowers colored the Earth's landscape and created new nutritious food sources like fruits and seeds. This Cretaceous terrestrial revolution influenced the evolution of new insects like bees, ants, and butterflies, and creatures like birds, and also caused an explosion of new dinosaur species. It is in this era that we see our most familiar and fascinating dinosaurs. Tyrannosaurus rex, T-Rex. It was the undisputed apex predator of its ecosystem. Its skull was massive and powerful, with a wide back that allowed it to use binocular vision, which is very effective for judging the distance to prey. Its nearly 60 thick, banana-sized, sharp teeth could deliver a bite force of about 8,000 pounds, enough to crush the bones of any animal. Its incredible sense of smell allowed it to find prey or carcasses from afar. Its 2 small arms are a subject of long debate, but they were likely used to grasp prey at close range or to help balance when getting up from the ground. Fossils of its ancestors, like Yutyrannus from China, have been found with feather impressions. suggesting that T-Rex may also have had feathers, at least at some stage of its life. Hadrosaurs, duck-billed dinosaurs. They were the cows of the Cretaceous. They roamed in massive herds for millions of years. Their duck-like beaks contained hundreds of rows of teeth, known as dental batteries. These teeth were constantly replaced, allowing them to effectively chew tough plants like cycads. Parasaurolophus had a long, hollow crest on its head. Scientists believe that by forcing air through this crest, they could create specific frequency sounds to communicate with each other. Ceratopsians, horned dinosaurs. The most famous member of this group was Triceratops. Its massive bony frill and 3 sharp horns were a formidable shield against the terrifying bite of a T-Rex. But the function of these horns and frills was not just self-defense. Species like Styracosaurus had many smaller horns around their frill. It's likely that these different types of horns and frills were used for species recognition and to attract mates, much like the antlers of modern deer. Raptors, dromaeosaurs. Made popular by movies, the real raptors were even more fascinating. Velociraptor was the size of a turkey, while Deinonychus was closer to the size of a human. Fossil evidence shows they were highly intelligent, covered in feathers, and warm-blooded. They had a sickle-like retractable claw on the second toe of their foot. The famous fighting dinosaurs fossil discovered in Mongolia shows a velociraptor locked in combat with a protoceratops, its deadly claw embedded in the prey's neck, proving they were lethal predators. At the end of the Cretaceous, Earth had a complete and complex ecosystem. The dinosaurs were at the pinnacle of their evolution. The fossil record from the Hell Creek Formation in North America gives us a glimpse of that final moment, where Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, and Edmontosaurus lived side by side. It seemed nothing could shake their kingdom. But they did not know that a cosmic messenger was hurtling from space to bring down the final curtain on their glorious 180 million year reign. The day was like any other. About 66 million years ago, on a spring day in the northern hemisphere, life was normal in the shallow tropical seas of the Yucatan Peninsula. Small animals roamed the mangrove forests, and fish and ammonites swam in the sea. They did not know that on the cosmic clock, the moment that would determine their fate and the fate of the entire planet was just seconds away. At that moment, the silent assassin hurtled from the infinite void of space. The Chicxulub asteroid. This piece of rock, larger than Mount Everest and about 10 to 15 kilometers wide, entered the atmosphere at a speed of about 72,000 kilometers per hour, more than 20 times faster than a bullet. Friction with the atmosphere turned it into a terrifying fireball, 1,000 times brighter than the sun. Creatures on Earth looked up to see a second sun descending rapidly towards them. Within seconds, it struck the Yucatan Sea at an angle of about 60 degrees. This oblique impact was even more deadly because it blasted a vast amount of debris in a specific direction, primarily towards North America. The force of that explosion was equal to about 10 billion Hiroshima bombs. This single impact created a massive impact crater in the Earth's crust, about 180 kilometers wide and 20 kilometers deep. The force of the blast instantly vaporized, melted, or pulverized the asteroid and thousands of cubic kilometers of the Earth's crust, water, sediment, and rock. This energy was one of the largest explosions in our solar system since the birth of the universe. The immediate effects of the impact were unimaginable. Within a radius of several thousand kilometers from the epicenter, everything, dinosaurs, plants, rocks, was instantly vaporized. A terrifying shockwave spread out faster than the speed of sound, flattening everything in its path. It was immediately followed by an intense thermal pulse, which spread at the speed of light. setting forests on fire thousands of kilometers away and broiling exposed animals alive. Striking the sea, the explosion generated a terrifying mega tsunami. The initial wave was likely over a mile high. These cataclysmic waves spread at hundreds of kilometers per hour, completely destroying the coastline of the Gulf of Mexico. The tsunami's impact was so powerful that it reached far into the North American interior, evidence of which has been found in distant places like North Dakota. The explosion triggered an earthquake, possibly of magnitude 11 or higher on the Richter scale, which shook the entire planet for hours. This tremor caused volcanic eruptions and landslides worldwide, adding more chaos and destruction to the Earth. The explosion ejected trillions of tons of rock, dust, and vaporized asteroid parts high into the atmosphere, even into space. These heated particles, known as ejecta, began to fall back to Earth hours later under gravity. As they re-entered the atmosphere, they turned into small glass beads called tektites, burning like meteors. This rain of fire began across the entire sky, turning the heavens into a blazing furnace. This firestorm raised the temperature of the upper atmosphere by hundreds of degrees. This unbearable heat caused horrific firestorms across the globe. The dinosaurs that had survived the initial blast and tsunami could not escape this global firestorm. Their feathers or skin were burned, and the air they breathed became scorching. In just a few hours, the dinosaurs' 180-million-year-old green paradise had turned into a burning hell. Planet Earth was on fire, but the most terrifying chapter had not yet begun. The initial devastation was just the beginning. The real killer was invisible, cold, and long-lasting. After the initial firestorm subsided, a strange, cold silence descended. The sky was dark, the trillions of tons of dust ejected into the upper atmosphere. The ash from the global wildfires, and most importantly, the sulfur aerosols created from the vaporization of the sulfate-rich gypsum rock of the Yucatan, formed a thick, impenetrable blanket of cloud, shrouding the entire Earth. The irrefutable evidence of this event is clearly preserved in Earth's geological layers. At the junction of the Cretaceous and Paleogene periods, a thin black line is visible in rock strata worldwide, known as the KPG, Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary. This layer, first discovered in Gubbio, Italy, was found to have an abnormally high concentration of a rare metal called iridium. Iridium is rare on Earth's surface but abundant in asteroids. Also found in this layer are shocked quartz, a type of crystal that forms only under extreme pressure, like a nuclear explosion or asteroid impact. And tektites, or small glass spheres, formed from cooled molten rock. This layer is the global signature of the Chicxulub impact. This cloud of dust and sulfur was an impenetrable barrier to sunlight. Earth entered a deep, endless night. This event is known as the impact winter, or nuclear winter. According to computer modeling, even during the day, the sky was darker than a full moon night. Sunlight was blocked by up to 99%. As a result, the Earth's average temperature dropped dramatically by as much as 26 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Even tropical regions saw temperatures drop below freezing. The Earth became a frozen, dark planet. This darkness and cold probably lasted for months, possibly even years. This endless night and cold were the primary drivers of the mass extinction. The impact was far-reaching and devastating. For instance, without sunlight, plants cannot photosynthesize. This was like dropping a nuclear bomb at the very base of the food chain. Almost all plants and phytoplankton on land and in the sea died. The fossil record shows a fern spike after this period. meaning the first plants to start growing back after the disaster were ferns, as their spores can remain dormant for a long time. With the plants gone, large herbivorous dinosaurs like Triceratops, Edmontosaurus, and Ankylosaurus began to die of starvation. Their massive bodies required hundreds of pounds of food every day, which no longer existed on Earth. As the herbivores went extinct, apex predators like Tyrannosaurus rex and dromaeosaurs also died of starvation. Their prey was gone. They probably survived for a short time by scavenging the carcasses of other dead dinosaurs, but eventually they too starved. The same thing happened in the seas. Phytoplankton were the base of the marine food web. When they died, the zooplankton and small fish that depended on them died. As a result, marine creatures with spiral shells like ammonites and massive marine reptiles like plesiosaurs and mosasaurs also went extinct. Furthermore, the sulfur released by the explosion mixed with water in the atmosphere to create terrible acid rain. This acid rain continued for years, making the ocean's surface as acidic as vinegar, which was lethal for creatures with shells made of calcium carbonate. In the face of this global catastrophe, all non-avian dinosaurs, along with pterosaurs, ammonites, and mosasaurs, and about 75% of all species on Earth, went extinct. This means that even after that terrible disaster, about 25% of species survived. The question now is, who survived and why? Surviving on Earth after this cataclysm was an immense challenge. Survival of the fittest took on a new meaning. Massive size and strength were no longer criteria for fitness, but rather a burden. Those that survived had some common traits. Small size. No land animal larger than 25 kilograms, about 55 pounds, survived. Small animals need less food to survive and can easily hide. Generalist diet. Those that could eat anything, insects, worms, rotting garbage, fern roots, were the ones who ultimately survived. Animals with specialized diets went extinct. Shelter. Those that could burrow underground, hide in caves, or take shelter in freshwater environments were able to protect themselves from the initial thermal radiation and the subsequent extreme environment. Freshwater ecosystems were less affected than terrestrial ones because their food chains were more dependent on decaying organic matter. Some reptiles like crocodiles and turtles survived because they were cold-blooded, had slow metabolisms, and could go for long periods without eating. And most importantly, hiding beneath this rubble, the ancestors of Homo sapiens survived, small, mouse-like mammals. The long night that lasted for years finally came to an end. The dust particles slowly cleared from the atmosphere, and sunlight began to reach the Earth again. But this was a new world. The noisy world of the dinosaurs was now silent, empty. After 180 million years of absolute rule, they were now just a fossil memory. In this empty world, those who had survived the Great Cataclysm had a new opportunity. In the absence of the dinosaurs, a new group emerged to fill the massive vacuum in the ecosystem, and this opportunity was seized by the mammals. During the age of dinosaurs, mammals were small, nocturnal creatures. They lived in hiding, in the shadows of the dinosaurs. But after the dinosaurs' extinction, they no longer needed to hide. There was no more competition for food and habitat. In this new, free world, mammals went through an incredible adaptive radiation. They began to grow in size, adapt to new diets, and gradually took over the niches that once belonged to the dinosaurs. Within just a few million years, the Earth was filled with diverse mammals like horses, whales, bats, and primates. But is the story of the dinosaurs truly over? The answer is, not entirely. One branch of the dinosaurs survived that great catastrophe. In the Cretaceous period, a branch of the theropod, carnivorous, bipedal dinosaurs group evolved into feathered, flying creatures. They are the birds. Yes, the birds we see all around us today, from sparrows to eagles, are all direct descendants of dinosaurs. So, whenever you see a bird, remember, you are looking at a living dinosaur. From the first spark of life to the epic rise of the dinosaurs and their sudden fall, this story reminds us of both the abundance and the fragility of life on Earth. The extinction of the dinosaurs was a cosmic accident, a tragic event that was beyond their control or imagination. Their 180 million year successful reign proves that they were in no way failed creatures, but rather an ultimate success of evolution. According to scientists, their fall, which was an ultimate tragedy for them, was a supreme stroke of luck for us, for humanity. If that asteroid had not struck the Earth, dinosaurs might still be ruling this planet today, and mammals might still be hiding in their shadows. The evolution of intelligent primates like us, Homo sapiens, might never have happened. We have risen from the ashes of the dinosaurs' extinction. In the vast context of the universe, nothing is permanent, and life follows an incredibly complex and unpredictable path where a single sudden event can change the course of history forever. The fossils of dinosaurs are not just the skeletons of strange creatures from the past. They are a silent testament to the depth of time and the sheer contingency of our own existence on Earth.